My perception. So how do your assumptions and the attitude that you're walking around with in the world affect your experience? Coming up right after this. Good afternoon, this is Lucky Links. Good afternoon, this is Lucky Links. I decided to do this video because I put this shirt on today, and I've never had a shirt that caused more controversy in my life, and it makes a point. I've been wanting to do a video about this for a while. For those of you who don't know, Fugitive 626. This is kind of a joke. This is from this was actually a gift that someone gave it to me, and it was a joke. It was a private joke. Fugitive 626. This is actually Stitch from the Disney film Lilo and Stitch. Whenever I wear this shirt, the strangest thing happened, and it didn't even occur to me that anyone would think something was weird about this. The first time it happened, I was sitting in a cafe, and I was having a conversation with someone, and these two older women were looking at me like this, and they were talking, and they were getting more and more agitated, and they were getting more and more upset, and they were talking to each other, and one of them was like, and then they were looking at each other and getting more and more upset, and then they kept looking at me, and I'm like, and then I could see them trying to mouth Fugitive 626, and eventually, after they'd gotten themselves into a big froth, the one was like, I want nothing to do with it, and she like turned her back. The other one walked up to me, and she says, what does that shirt mean? And they were so agitated. She was so angry. I said, it's from the Disney film, Lilo and Stitch. And she said, oh. She thought it had something to do with politics. And she thought it had something to do with either the right or the left. That's all I'm going to say, because I'm not getting involved in this whole... Because this is a perfect example of where that goes absolutely, positively crazy. She had her decisions based on the current political scene, based on what she believes this side and this side is, and what the right side is and what the wrong side is, and she thought this had something to do with this whole trance that she worked out in her mind, that she was playing out as her reality. And the two of them were getting angry at me because of their own fantasy, their own thing that they were projecting out in the world. And she started talking to me a little bit about it, and I'm like, I said, it's just a Disney film. I mean, Fugitive 626. He was an experiment that they made, and they called him 626. And she's like, I don't know, I'm too old for that. And then she started going on about politics, and I said, I don't know, I'm too young for that. And it shut her right up. On several other occasions when I wore this shirt, a woman walked past me, and she's going, oh my God, look, his shirt says forgiveness. And it's the funniest thing. It's the weirdest thing. I didn't even think about it with it. Like I said, someone gave this to me as a gift. I like the way the shirt fits. I'm not even particularly interested in Lilo and Stitch. I think it's very funny. I think Stitch himself was very funny. The whole idea that he was this thing they made that was a fugitive that causes problems. I like the idea. And in true to his character, people seem to keep misunderstanding the whole point. So there are several other people that have like taken it wrong and had something else go. But the point I'm trying to make is, whatever trance it is that you're running in your head about what you think reality is, don't assume that you figured the truth out. Because in each one of these cases, someone projected whatever, and the woman who looked at it and said, oh, look, it says forgiveness, that told me she was running a lot of guilt. And you can see it. You see it on her face. There's all this guilt that she's carrying around with herself. So be very careful with what you think is truth, because it may just be that you're taking some thing that's a running argument in your head and you're plugging people into it as they walk past. I'm Lucky Links, as always, wishing you success and good fortune in all that you do. If you're interested in getting a reading from me, 779-302-8009 or conjurehope@gmail.com. Also, I have several tarot classes that you could take. I've got a beginning tarot, I've got an advanced tarot, I've got a Lenormand basic, I've got a Lenormand grand tableau, I've got one in Mexican Loteria, I've got one in how to read playing cards, and I've got one in how to read crystal balls. If you're interested in taking any of these classes, contact me, and I'll give you the details on how to do so. Also, I'm going to post a link below. If you're interested in, I have a Facebook Live coming on Tuesday, November 9th, or July 9th, next week. It is at 1 o'clock Pacific time, and then that would be 3 o'clock, right, Central Time, Midwestern Time, and then 4 o'clock Eastern Time. I am going to be interviewing my master, His Holiness Padma Gampo Rinpoche. He's going to be talking about Tibetan Bond, the path that I have been on for 12 years. He's also going to be talking about the retreat we got coming up and what you could get out of it. And he's going to answer the questions that you guys have if you want to address him. I'm going to put a link below to that Facebook Live event. Please join that. It'll be next Tuesday. And then for those of you who've been donating, thank you so much for all the donations. I really appreciate the donations. You guys are fantastic, and you have been wonderful, and I really appreciate all those donations. If you would like to donate, I'm going to leave my Facebook, my PayPal, and my Venmo below. Feel free to do so. So go out there today and have fun. And remember, is it your truth, or is it just that some fantasy, some trance, something that you're running in your head, you're projecting onto the world, and other people are plugging into? Because you may be putting someone in a position that they really aren't, and you may be not giving them the benefit of the doubt.